All right, everybody, it's going to take just a minute here to get everything switched over.
And tell us if you can hear us. I'm going to see if
Tell us if you can hear us all right. We kind of make sure we got everything turned where it needs to be. Last week we had microphone problems, and we're going to see if we got the same problems this week.
Okay, we have Hope's Homestead, Sammy Joe, Terry, Lisa, Linda. No, I've seen several. Cynthia.
Well,
Are you hearing us okay?
yeah, one says I can hear you.
Okay.
Kind of a hollow sound. It said, hello, hey guys.
Okay, let me turn this other mic off.
Yeah, we got to turn one of our mics off here. We're having trouble with one of our microphones.
Let's see. Okay, now how is that? Is it any better? And do I have any of my moderators in the house tonight? I know Wheatree has the flu. Kitty's supposed to be here. Rain Country has a storm coming in. I'm not sure if she's going to make it tonight.
Yeah.
So we're kind of looking to see if we have moderators because I can't. Rain's here. Good.
Okay.
Okay.
I hope the weather's not too bad, Rain.
Better. Okay, since we turned the echo's gone. Okay, it's the other mic then. Okay. Kitty's here. Okay.
Kitty's here. Okay.
Kitty, since Wheatree has the flu tonight, can you pick up our Etsy store, our website, all our information like that, if you don't mind? I think Rain Country may have some of it, and just, y'all kind of keep things going for us, because I don't know how many of our mods will be here tonight. And our moderators do a good job. I've noticed on other channels, we have some of the same as everybody else, but these moderators are doing a really good job. The
moderators are doing a great job, especially you take Heidi. Heidi's going beyond at Rain Country. She's going beyond her call. I mean, she's having some severe weather in her area. I don't know if it's actually making it there. She says she's having some good gusts, but they were predicting like 12 to 13 feet of snow in some of the mountain areas around there. So, y'all just keep her in your prayers.
The Goog Gust, or G-O-O-G.
Yeah, the Goog Rust.
The Goog Gust?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So.
Angel, man, I'm from Montgomery, Alabama. Yeah, y'all, we started this once before, and we hadn't been doing it here lately. And that is, if you want to post where you're from, that's fine. Maybe you can pick up some other YouTubers in your area that, kind of build a community around you there. We've done that here, actually.
From the beginning.
From the beginning. Some of the YouTube people that live in our area have actually started coming to church with us now. So we're kind of excited about that. They've become real good friends. They drop by all the time, and we work together. It's kind of neat to have your fellow YouTubers in your area. Just get to know who they are.
And we noticed that we have quite a bit of people from Louisiana and from Alabama watching.
Yeah.
So that's within driving. Some of them are within driving range.
Some of them are within driving. Yeah.
From here to visit, so we know that's pretty close. Simply Circus. Hey, girl. If you guys haven't been checking out the Homestead Network lately, we've added a lot of new people coming in. Some have changed in and out, but Simply Circus is a new one that's on, and Hope's Homestead. That's two of the new ones. And Rain Country. I hope I'm not jumping the gun, but I think Rain Country is going to be joining us shortly. She's had a trial runs, I think, and she's going to be joining us. So we've got 3 new ones I know of joining us in the Homestead Network. So y'all keep the website, homesteadnetwork.com. Y'all keep checking it out and seeing who's new in the lineup.
Thank you, Rain, for putting up All God's Children channel there. That's our channel where we talk about the Bible, and we tried to separate our 2 channels here. We tried to keep this one specifically for homesteading, and then we try to have one for just Bible studies and people who like to do that. And it's turning out pretty nice. It gets to be kind of a strain on me sometimes because my time is very, very short. I haven't been able to do a live stream on any of it yet, just simply because we have so much going on. I just haven't had the time to do it yet.
But we will.
but we will eventually get to it, I hope. We got another video coming up. Is it in the
In the
morning?
morning. Yeah, you guys, this one's very thought provoking. I mean, not to say they aren't all,
Yeah.
but if you've never looked at Egypt and Joseph and the way he brings it out tomorrow, it's pretty cool. So
Yeah, if it uploads tonight like we want it to and don't have problems, it'll be out tomorrow morning. And I'll go ahead and tell you, it's as it was in the days of Joseph. Is it going to be the name of the message? And I hope y'all enjoy it. I mean, it's going to be really, really good. So.
yeah, and I see we're lots of people. Sharon Brown, I think if you got the message a while ago, if you will message me, I'll check later about the spoons because she was on Heidi's on Rain Country's video on the spoons and saying she wants some. And I remembered, Sharon, that you did want some. Oh, Roy and Faye and Teresa Dean and Brenda and Wynn Wesley.
All of y'all that's wanting the spoons.
We put 4 up today and 4 sold within an hour.
They're so time consuming to make, and now my blades on my bandsaw broke, so I got to try to figure out how I'm gonna get that fixed. It just takes. I mean, it took me all day to make 4 of them, so it's gonna be one of those things that I will put them up as fast as I can get them made. I mean, that's just they're so time consuming to make by hand.
And Sharon Wilson, I got to talk to her. I don't know how long we talked this week, but we talked for a long time.
Pretty good while.
The other day,
battery on the phone went down.
Yeah, because we had a phone call from Danny right after, and he didn't get to talk to somebody for but just a second. But I had a good time talking with Sharon, and we've had a lot of people call this week. We've had 2 visitors. Well, y'all know last Saturday we had the Old Alabama Gardener, and we put up some of those videos. Plus, he has put up videos. So if you haven't subscribed to the Old Alabama Gardener, go subscribe to him and watch the videos. He's going to do his in, I think he said 3 or 4 parts.
Yeah.
And he shows some of the things we cut out. So you guys get to see a different part of what we showed. And I thought it was pretty cool because he left in things that we had cut out. So it's pretty awesome. Y'all get the full story behind the visit when you put them both together.
We thoroughly enjoyed 2.67 acres came by. He visited with us, and we squeezed his cane juice, as you saw in one of the videos. We had a fantastic visit with them. Really enjoyed it. And then the Old Alabama Gardener was here, like she said. Me and Mr. Charles got to be able to sit down and actually talk about gardening.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we didn't get it all on video, and I apologize for that, but we enjoyed one another's visit. I'm gonna tell you, we enjoy it anytime anybody comes by to visit.
Hey, Scratch. Okay, I saw that Scratch and made it in. They don't usually get to make it lots of times because they're usually at their place in the country.
Yeah.
And they did get to come tonight. I see Doug and Stacy, Brenda Collins.
Yeah, good
Jerry
to have all y'all. We're just glad. I mean, we're filling in tonight. Of course, we didn't know it till just a few minutes ago.
You gotta love they pop these things on us last minute, you know. We thought they had filled the hour in between Big Bear and us.
Yeah.
But then Big Bear's going, hey, who's on after us? And Robin goes, nobody. So we'll just keep going, and Deep South can pick up the next half hour. So we had 30 minutes notice. So we're kind of filling in the time till our 8 o'clock slot and just chatting for a few minutes.
Yeah, we're just kind of killing some time here. It's and we just want to take some time. Mainly the reason we do this is just so we can interact with y'all, and just kind of say hey, kind of say thanks for. Just thanks for just sitting down and listening to us. And yeah, I know y'all are saying we're buffering and stuff like that. It's probably our internet system because we have been fighting with it all week again. It's just been one of those weeks that we just, I don't know what we're going to eventually do. We're trying to get fiber optic put in here, but it's just.
They keep telling us we were supposed to have it in April.
Yeah, we were supposed to have it in April, but the phone company fired the crew, and then they started off in another place, the new crew did,
So maybe. We're just hoping. The porch time with you and Old Alabama Gardener was awesome. That's Lisa. She said that was pretty good.
It was awesome on our end too, Lisa. We really enjoyed it. Me and Mr. Charles got along so well. It was just like It's just like we knew each other our whole life.
I keep telling him that he's going to be an old Alabama gardener, only he's going to be the old Mississippi gardener before long, you know.
Okay, J.R. Gavin Hunter wants to know, where in Mississippi are we? We are about 35 miles north of the Mississippi Gulf Coast in a little community called Perkinston.
I see Hope's Homestead made it too.
Yeah.
So Hope's Homestead, you guys check out her and Simply Circus. That'll be my two shout-outs tonight, is those two, Hope's Homestead and Simply Circus. They're two new here on the
Christine
Homestead
Jewell
Network.
says we're about 2 hours from them. So you're either in Meridian, Brookhaven,
or in the middle of the Gulf Coast.
or you're out in the ocean, or you're over in California, Louisiana somewhere, maybe between here and Baton Rouge.
So let's see. I'd prefer your interaction with a shovel here at my place. Sorry, Scratch, ain't happening. No, we're going to come visit. I've got Danny. He's going to commit to coming and visiting. You got to hear. Just keep on at him.
I hadn't seen any videos up though, Scratch. I'm kind of curious what y'all got going on over there. I haven't seen anything happening.
I think he's busy making candy at Tanner.
You got to.
You gotta give the candy up.
You got to give the candy up. We're short on pecans, so we're going to have to work out a deal with some pecans or something.
He wants to crack his pecans. Now, Scratch, do you have some he can crack?
Yeah, because the problem here is it's plumb crazy, y'all. There's pecan trees all over the place around in this community, but nobody here will give you pecans. They'd rather let them lay on the ground and the animals eat them, or run over them and chop them up with a lawnmower, than they would let somebody have them. And I love picking up pecans. I love cracking pecans and stuff like that on a cold winter day. And there's just no pecans here. We have a tree up the road that's on the side of the blacktop, but the animals get all of them.
And he loves to sit and do that all during the winter. And last winter we didn't pick any up. We
didn't get no pecans last year.
And Scratch brought us some, but they were already hulled out. So I've been using those. But he likes to sit and just hull out. Why, I don't know.
I like to sit in front of the fire and just shell out pecans. It's a Danny thing, man. That's all I can tell you. It's a Danny thing. So.
Retired senior chief said he was stationed in Pascagoula and lived in Ocean Springs. Okay, that's what.
Cool. One of my daughters.
Less than an hour.
That's less. That's about an hour and a little over an hour.
Yeah. One
of my daughters was living in Ocean Springs, but she just moved to Pascagoula.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all just keep interacting with us because we just gonna keep on going here.
Yeah, we've got several things to talk about tonight, and I think most of our regular crowd's already here, so I guess we'll just go with it. Or do you want to kill time till 8 o'clock?
Well, I don't know. We're gonna just be on here anyway.
That's all right.
Okay, so Linda says she's going to be moving to Pontotoc, Mississippi in a couple more years. That's North Mississippi. Yeah, it's actually beautiful up there. And Farmer Meemaw says, my daddy does that too, Danny. He loves shelling pecans. I do. I really love shelling pecans. There's just something that's just, I don't know, it's just something satisfying about it. I've done it my whole life. It's just one of the things I used to like to sit in front of my fireplace and just shell pecans and throw the holes in the fireplace. And it just gives me a time to clear my mind and sit and think and just enjoy, the life that God's given me here.
Yeah, Okie Rob is on, and he said he has to fight crows and squirrels. We're fighting with them too. The trees. Well, Wiggins, the town we live in, was a pecan orchard.
It was a pecan orchard. The whole town was a pecan orchard at one time.
From where we live, like 12, 15 miles from Wiggins.
Yeah.
The whole town was a pecan orchard. So when you go to town, there's these huge trees still standing in people's yards and things like that. But like he said, most people cut them up with the lawnmower instead of letting somebody have them.
Coon Mountain says, I'm from Bay Springs, Mississippi. Really? Just outside of Laurel. Wow. I used to go through Bay Springs all the time. I used to haul logs to Bay Springs. When we was in the timber industry, we drove and hauled logs into Bay Springs there all the time.
And Steel Horses says plants and pecan trees. We have two. And on one of them, Danny planted these, how long ago?
These trees were 10 feet tall when I bought them, and I paid $100 a piece for them. And they've been in the ground now for 10 years, and they're still about the same size. And I've done everything I know to do to these trees. They just will not grow. And they're supposed to be from my area. It's supposed to be the variety and everything, but
we have on one of them this year probably 20 pecans,
Maybe 20, maybe.
maybe 20. So maybe by next year, maybe they'll shoot up and do something by next year. But it takes a pecan tree how long? Years to
Oh,
get. This pecan tree's what?
It's about 3 inches in
3 inches
diameter.
around. So these pecan trees that are big are probably 100 or 2 years old, at least close to 100 years old.
Your pecans, Beth has said she's got a bag full of them. How long should let them dry before shelling? I never really start shelling mine until right before Thanksgiving. I try to let them have plenty of time to cure, because if you shell them too early, they're green and they just stick in a hole, and they're just sticky. They're not any good. So once they, maybe I'd say probably a week before Thanksgiving, I might start cracking them. Coon Mountain said I was born there and lived there until I was 5.
Okay, Hope's Homestead says she got to go. She leads a praise and worship in the morning. That's great, Hope. Love to hear you sing one day then.
Somebody, Linda Smith says a Jack Russell Terrier will get squirrels. Oh, that's one of the best squirrel dogs you can get now. And let me tell you something, we have squirrels here now. We may not have anything else, but we got squirrels.
Yes, we do. Okay, this time we're going to talk about some of our things. You want to tell them what Tennessee Homestead called Dan
Rich from
yesterday? Laughing.
Rich from Tennessee Homestead called me yesterday. He was dying out laughing. He told me, he said, Danny, he said, have you seen the old Alabama gardeners in your video? Have you seen the ad that was ran in front of it? And I told him, I said, no, I have not. And he said that a big ag chemical company ran an ad in front of yours and his video, talking about this new enlisted herbicide with Roundup, and how great that it was, this big huge ad, and this big ad on Roundup, and how it's got glyphosate and glyphosate in it, and how it's had 2,4-D weed killer added in with it, and how it cleans the ground so well, and they were really pushing it so hard. He said, you and the old Alabama gardener came on there and just bashed it, not even knowing. He said, they put that video up in front of y'all, and said, boy, was that a waste of time. And he just said, I laughed about that all day long. Every time I thought about it, how that they put a video up like that in front of y'all, and then you talk about how bad Roundup is. So.
Yeah, the Bandana Grandma says she's seen lots of homestead videos with that ad running. So
yeah.
Every time somebody mentions Roundup or weeds or something like that, I think YouTube or the ad companies kind of pick it up and they throw those ads in there. And Brenda Collins says she saw it too. JL said they saw it. Farmer Meemaw said she loved it. Made her. Oh, she must be talking about something else because she didn't like the ad, I'm sure.
No, I'm sure she wouldn't like that ad.
I have to watch the comments because y'all are talking back and forth, and it's kind of not sure which conversation's going on.
Yeah.
So now.
Okay, where you want to go here?
Our title tonight was Life Still Goes On.
Life Still Goes On is what we call this
And
tonight.
I wanted to mention, I was watching Off Grid Kid earlier, and bless his heart, he went into talking about simply life goes on. He was talking about how,
really?
Yes, he didn't put it in that words, but he was talking about Russia and the threat and things like that, and being a kid, how as a kid it was a little scary.
Yeah.
And for him to have to worry about that, but then he said, I'm going to trust my parents, and I'm going to trust that they'll take care of that, and he was just going to live life, is basically what he was saying.
Yeah, that's about all you can do.
And I told him, I said, well, our theme tonight is life goes on. So that's where Danny's going with this.
Well, in a minute I will. Not right this minute, but we'll eventually go there.
But, life does go on.
Life goes on regardless of what's happening. I mean,
yeah.
We've got things happening in this country. I mean, I want y'all to know, I told Wanda today, I said, we're on this, y'all excuse my language for just a moment, but we're on this snowball to hell roll right now. Things are starting to happen in our country at such a rapid pace now that just lets me know that the hand of God may be lifted off of our country and the protection that He used to keep over us as fast as things are happening. I mean, this past winter, we had the whole central part of the country that was just in this big blanket of snow. It just would not go away. And now we got the East Coast has been hit by storm after storm after storm, and now the West Coast is getting hit by these major storms. We're down here in the southeast, and I want y'all to know it's been 18 days since it rained here. I pulled the radar up a while ago, and they don't even have any rain predicted for the next 10 days. So that would give us 28 days without any rain. Today it was 87 degrees with a heat index of over 90. It's like this heat will not go away. I mean, I don't know what we're going to do. My carrots that y'all saw in our carrot video, most of them, a lot of them came up, but most of them have died because of just it. And we water every day. It's just so dry. We planted our greens. You saw us our green video when we was planting it. We're having to water them jokers every day right now just to keep them alive, and they're just struggling in this heat. I know the bugs is going to get to them eventually if something doesn't happen, you know.
And this week we had several people say, you know, because of his video with on Porch Time, there were several people said something about bartering. Well, Danny's like the master barterer. You know, he barters for everything.
I barter for everything. I don't buy nothing. I barter for everything.
He bartered this week with one of the neighbors, and he's going to tell you about that a little bit. But they were digging, and what he was doing, there's no
we dug down.
anywhere.
I mean, we had a track code here this week doing some work for us. That track code dug down 3 feet deep in the ground, and the ground was so powdery that the bucket wouldn't even hardly pick it up. It was like salt coming out of a salt shaker. And so, I mean, it's just pure dust 3 feet deep in the ground. It just amazed me at how dry. I don't know how anything's living here. I'll just be honest with you. I really don't. To me, it's just another sign of things to come, I'm afraid, for this winter.
Yes, Farmer Meemaw said it's going to be okay. We have food in the pantry. Yeah, we do. And that's where, when we plant something, a lot of people say, how come you plant so much and how can we eat this much? We don't plant just for this time of the year.
Right.
We plant for at least 2 years, because just like last year, this year our English peas made, but last year they didn't. If we hadn't planted lots the year before, we would have been out of English peas. And last year we planted like, I don't know how many peanuts, and we canned peanuts. So this year we planted only our jungle peanuts.
Yeah.
So we canned peanuts last year that would cover us all this year and possibly all next year.
All next year, yeah.
Should. So it doesn't matter. If you plant something, you plant over what you expect to need so that you have an abundance. And because you don't ever know what crop will grow.
You never know.
With this, we may not get any greens. And I did put some greens in jars last year.
Yeah, we did put up a few. But now you see, earlier when we all saw us planting our food plot back there on the hill for deer, we planted peas and greens and all in that food plot. Well, Wanda and I today went over and harvested greens out of that food plot just simply because the heat is fixing to start killing them. And rather than seeing just the deer eat them, we went and harvested greens today. As a matter of fact, that's what we had for supper tonight.
Yeah, and Okie Rob saying it takes more plants to get enough harvest. That's what some people don't really understand is if you plant 10 plants, yes, you're going to get something to eat.
You're going to get something to eat, but not put up.
2 or 3 meals, something like that. But we plant an abundance because we plan on canning. And to can, you can't can off 10 plants, say 10 bean plants. Right. You're not going to get enough. You have to plant several rows. And so that's where a larger amount, if you plan on having peas and beans and things like that to can.
We try to keep a minimum of 3 years on hand. We don't always, we don't always have that, but we try our best because some years we just have crop failures. I mean, like she said, one year we had a problem with English peas, but last year we had a pretty good crop. We had half of our crop came in last year and half of it didn't.
Dot D said, my daddy didn't beg, borrow, or steal, but he bartered like a madman. This one here too, dear.
I mean, I'm the same
He
way.
bartered. I mean, when we first got married, I was kind of embarrassed because every time I turned around, he was bartering with somebody for something, and I wasn't used to that. And so I got used to the bartering now because that's just a way of life. But you know, it's
Yeah,
kind of funny. He barters for
I barter for
everything.
everything because I just believe it's the way to go. I think it's the way we're going to eventually end up having to do things in this country. So I'm already getting used to it now. I'm getting the people around me used to it, and we all end up with pretty good deals out of the thing. You know, I mean, so
Yeah.
it's working out real good so far.
And one person, Teresa, says her family calls her a food hoarder. I look at my cabinets and my stuff, and I really think we're hoarding a lot of food sometimes.
Yeah, she gets on to me sometimes. We go to the store. I say, we need to pick up this because we don't have any more of this. And she goes, Danny, we've got 2 or 3 years supply of it. And I'm like, well, I don't care.
I mean, it's kind of obsessive. If you want to just say canning is obsessive. This week I've canned butter. I didn't know you could can butter till a couple of months ago, and so I canned butter. I canned some
Ground beef,
ground beef. I canned chicken. I
stew
canned
meat,
stewed meat.
okra.
The okra and no,
Oh,
I,
dehydrated apples this week.
oh, dehydrated apples. Yes. Y'all, when they have these sales where you can get 3 pounds of apples for $1, look, I racked up. I bought a couple of bags that day and I said, oh, we'll just go back. And when we went back, they were $1.50. They were only on sale for $1 on Wednesday.
On Wednesday.
So I paid $1.50 and I got 3 more bags. Those 3 pounds of apples in each bag dehydrate down to 1 quart jar of dried apples. And they were Jonathan apples, and I swear these are the best dried apples you've ever eaten. I can just sit and eat them. So that's going to be a snack for me. Plus, you can make apple pies and the little, what do you call the pie, the little fried pies, apple pies? Turnover type pies and stuff with them. You can rehydrate them for that.
Yakov wants to know, how do we control fruit flies? Is it vinegar and lemon juice?
I think I've got to check on that
I think it's vinegar and lemon juice in a squirt bottle. I think is how you water it down and use it, and I think it works for fruit flies, if I'm not mistaken. The lemon makes it smell good, so that's what it's in there for.
Somebody was asking would I do a video on canning butter. I did, and I just haven't had time to get it up.
Yeah, there's actually a little bit of a way you have to go about that.
And I had somebody ask about canning peanuts. I did a video that's coming up tomorrow, I think, on our channel on canning peanuts. I didn't can them because we didn't can any this year, but I walk you back through what I did last year. So it'll be like a frugal quick tip on how to can peanuts.
Yeah, that should come out tomorrow.
I think we've got 2 videos to upload, one for All God's Children and one for this channel. So All God's Children is going out first. So the peanuts will come out on our channel sometime tomorrow. Just be looking for it.
Yeah, it's on Coon Mountain. So his daddy used to trade all the time. His name was a trader. Well, believe it or not, when I did CD radios, I used to do them all the time when we ran a trucking business. My CD handle was called Medicine Man because it seemed like every time anything happened, I always had a remedy. When we were up in the woods somewhere, if something happened, I always had a remedy for everything. And I picked up the name Medicine Man.
Yes, and mine was, what did I tell you?
I don't remember.
It was, they call me a witch most of the time because I was always dealing with herbs and stuff, and I was always doing the medicine. So I got called a witch. So he was the medicine man and I was a witch, just because.
Yeah, we got all kind of things. Love your canning okra to fry. How did you make the batter? The batter is just cornmeal and.
Well, what it was, when I opened the jar and you dump the juice off, the okra looks like it's slimy, but it's not. I mean, it is, but it isn't. It's not soft. It's still firm, like it is when you fry it. So it's still kind of slimy. And I just put my cornmeal in a bowl, and I added salt. Y'all don't add salt. Just saying.
Don't add salt to it.
Danny doesn't like real salty stuff, and so on the camera y'all see him eating, and he's trying to not say it's salty because it was good and crunchy and it tasted good, but it was a little salty for his taste. And but you just take the cornmeal, and I dumped the okra after it had been drained over into the cornmeal and just tossed it. And it all stuck to it perfectly because it was already a little slimy. And I was afraid it was all going to stick together. But as you saw in the video, it did not. It all floated to its separate pieces. It fried up really good and crunchy. And that was it. You didn't need eggs and all this other stuff, simply cornmeal. But just remember, you put salt in it when you're canning it, so do not add salt. If it's not salty enough after you cook it, then sprinkle salt on it.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell y'all what, we won't be putting any more okra in the deep freeze.
We'll be canning it.
We'll be canning it from now on, because I'm gonna tell you this is the way to go with okra.
Yeah, and I saw Old Alabama Gardener, I think, is on too. Somebody was saying, hey. So, hey, Mr. Charles.
Yeah, I saw Mr. Charles when he come in there. Coon Mountain says his, I said, I guess talking about his and his wife was Blondie and the Night Walker.
On the CB.
On the CB, yeah. It's funny how we go through these phases in life, you know. I mean, here we are, you know, I've probably been 25, 30 years since I did CB radios. And now here we are, we're YouTubers. You know,
with names.
With Deep South Homestead. You know, before I actually leave this world and I'm old, there's no telling what I'll be at that point, you know.
Yeah, I was Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
On the CB. I was always Wonder Woman. So, spoons are gone. Yes, all the spoons on Etsy are gone. If you guys want spoons, you will have to message us in private messages and we'll get with you. And he's going to see how many he needs to make and what he can do about getting them done.
Beth is asking, does the okra have to be fresh or can someone can frozen okra? Beth, we are going to be experimenting with that this week.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I have to pick okra early in the morning, and then Wanda's going to can some more okra like we did. And we're going to take one bag out of the freezer and we're going to experiment with it, although I don't think it will work, simply because when you freeze something in the freezer, the cell structure in the produce erupts. I'm afraid that when you put it in a jar, it's going to be soggy and mushy, but in order to answer these questions accurately, Wanda and I are going to try, because I just believe that fresh is going to be the only way to go, but we are going to try.
We are going to try it because we want to know ourselves. The YouTuber said, did I get a hug? Yes, I got a lot of hugs, and I get hugs every day. Everybody sends me hugs, so I love it. Do you eat your fried okra cooked in a skillet? That's the way we grew up eating it.
Yes.
Yes, I used peanut oil.
Yeah.
Because of the high cooking what is it?
High heat content on it. It won't scorch very easy.
Yeah, and it worked out really great doing that.
Our okra, how long will the okra store? I'm going to say I wouldn't hesitate to eat it 3 or 4 years later, because usually once something's stored in a jar and it's kept in a dark place at a constant temperature, I mean, we eat some of our stuff still from 2008 to 2009. So, I mean, I don't think it'd be a problem.
Mr. Charles said he had some from 2012, I believe. So that's 4 years that he's eaten on.
Yeah, so I don't see where it'd be a problem. Y'all, a lot of this thing about the length that something's good in a jar or a can is all because it's a marketing thing. The government has a marketing scheme out there, and a lot of this stuff is still edible after years. So a lot of people throw away a lot of good things simply because the government has got us scared to eat anything.
Well, Patera, in her videos she was doing on her food storage, she took out, was it pork and beans, I believe.
Pork and beans, Worcestershire sauce.
That were several years old.
Yeah, way past its expiration date.
And she said, we're going to eat it and we're not going to die. And so they ate those pork and beans that were like 2 or 3 years out of date.
Yeah, and they didn't die.
And she's still going. Y'all just asked her.
Yeah, just finished my 2012 tomatoes. We actually have some from 2010 we're working on.
Yeah, we're still.
So lots of them, as a matter of fact. So
that year, Danny and I have only been married since 2013, but some of his food storage stuff when I came, dated back to 2007 and 8.
Yeah.
And so we started eating on the older stuff, working our way up. And I think the oldest we have now is 2009 and 10.
10. We're down to 10 now. I
I
think
think
we've
it
eaten
may
all
be
of the 9.
10.
We got all we got left in 10 is the tomatoes. We're
Yeah.
up to 11 in the green beans.
I did answer, did I get my hug? Yes,
Yes.
I did get my hug, YouTubers. I see that going by again. I don't know if they heard us.
Yeah.
Do you trust the new canning lids? Mine seem to be thin.
We only use one kind of canning lid, and that is the silver colored ball canning lids. We do not use the copper ones, the gold colored ones or anything. They will not hold up under humidity or anything. They rust in no time. And another thing, anytime you can, with any of your lids, after you get through canning, be sure to wash those lids and the top of that jar off real good after you take the ring off, because any food content that comes out and gets on that lid will rust it, because usually you put salt and stuff in that lid, and the upper part of it doesn't have any protection against the salt.
Hi, NC Auto Man. Coon Mountain said, if it smells good, eat it. If it smells bad, dump it out. That's like the #1 rule. And if it's got little green stuff on top, that's the #2 rule. Make sure it smells good and has no green stuff growing.
Beth said planted carrots like we did, and it looks like a green carpet. Thumbs up to you. It works, I'm telling you.
Ours looked like a green carpet, but some of them were carrots and some of them
was
were weeds. That bed has a lot of little green stuff that comes up in it when you throw a tarp over it like we did.
My new ball lids are thinner than the old ones I have.
Yes.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
What about MREs from Katrina? Think they are still good? They probably, I would say yes. Now, I didn't like the meat in the MREs, but all the other stuff was pretty good. I just test it. Same way.
Someone said, what about if it gets cloudy? When food gets cloudy, it's usually due to the wrong kind of salt being put in it a lot of times. Or like sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes, if you can them, they will get cloudy after a few years, but they're still good. And it all depends on how they were canned. Yes, iodized salt will make it cloudy. That's what Roy and Faye is saying. Yes, it will.
Somebody was saying they thought botulism did not smell.
Botulism does not smell. Botulism has no smell to it whatsoever.
Yeah. So I'm trying to see what they're.
Okay. Partial sweet potato harvest was 18.5 pounds in 1.4 gallon pot in a 1 square foot section. Cool. That's great. Man,
that's a good.
That is a good harvest for that area.
Hey, big lady. We bought our lids from the Amish store in bulk. The ones at Walmart wrinkle. Yes. I've heard a lot of people doing that. Do you cook your okra in a skillet? Yes.
Yes, we answered that a while ago, actually. Yes, we do cook them. We do cook it in a skillet. Yes.
I used a stainless
steel one for this with the
I did not
oil.
use my iron skillet because I've got one I use for eggs. I didn't put them in it.
YouTuber says, Danny, I have the one my dad's pecan shellers. I actually have a hand pecan sheller myself, and my dad gave it to me as a Christmas gift. That you actually break. It's in 2 sections. The pecans go on one side and the hulls go on the other side. And I sit and use that thing all the time.
Yes, his dad made it.
So my dad made it for me, and it's kind of special to me.
All right, I just joined. I have mason jars that are at least 50 years old. They were in my dad's old barn and appear to be fine. Do you think they will be okay for canning?
Yes, usually the older ones are thicker than the new ones, so they should be better. All you got to do is go to the Ball website if it's a Ball jar, and it will tell you by the way the word Ball is written on the jar how old the jars are.
Somebody, All Things Good, said their canned potatoes ended up tasting like peanuts and were mushy.
That's because we've learned we don't necessarily follow the process in the Ball book that they give, because they tell you to cook your potatoes up to 10 minutes before, blanch them up to 10 minutes before you actually put them in the pressure canner. And we learned if we do that, then they turn to mush. So what we do is we only pre-cook them for about 4 to 5 minutes, and take them out real quick and put them in the jars, and then we pressure can them, and they seem to hold up better.
Yeah, because if you leave them too long, they're going to get mushy. And
Yeah.
somebody was asking about, is there a secret to make mashed potatoes that aren't lumpy out of those? I don't know. I've not made a lot of mashed potatoes with ours. Mostly I use mine for
We
skillet fry.
skillet fry most of ours. We
some
use
butter and olive oil and just kind of brown them like French fries, sort of.
yes, and Beth is right. A lot of your Walmart lids come from China, so that's true about that.
Are you going to make and sell pecan shellers?
You know, if I actually had the pecan cracking part, which I could order it, it's not a problem. I could make some of those.
All right. Coon Mountain is Bill and Deborah. Okay. I'm having to try and remember names of people, but yeah, I'll try and keep those things in mind.
Yeah, matter of fact, I'd like to visit with y'all sometime.
Yeah, where do they live? Did you say?
He didn't say where he lives. He said he was from Bay Spring.
Yeah, okay. That was the one that was close. I was thinking Big Bear, love mashed taters. Big Bear, I don't know if you saw my post on your live stream a while ago, but we had turnip greens and cornbread and a sweet potato that was baked with honey on it and some okra, and that ought to be on your diet, by the way.
And it all come off of Deep South Homestead. Because now we try to eat as much from our place as we can. I'm telling y'all, as much as I've been finding out about our food system here lately, I tell you what, honest to God, I don't care if I ever go to the store again. I'm just being honest about it.
Yes, Big Bear, you can come visit.
They're literally trying to kill us. I'm not going to lie to you. With all the stuff that they're putting in the food now, I'm finding out there is not one food you can buy at a grocery store that's in a can or anything like that that has not had Roundup put on it.
Process 90 minutes. Is there a safety reason? Okay, that's on the potatoes. I don't know how, you said we only put them in boiling water for like 5 minutes.
Yes.
And then we took those potatoes out and canned them. And yes, there's safety reasons is why they say 90 minutes.
Yeah, potatoes, especially if you leave the skins on them. I mean, that's because of the bacteria that's on the skin that comes out of the ground and stuff. That's that's the main reason right there. And two, they're extremely starchy, so I mean, it just takes a lot of work to can them.
Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to talk about something since we've kind of gotten into our 8 o'clock thing now. So I've got a collaboration going on. It'll come out this week on the 20th. I messaged a whole bunch of kids on YouTube. It's families that have kids, and some of the kids have their own channel. And I asked them, did they want to be a part of my collaboration? And I've got a group of kids, I'm going to read list, that have agreed on, I think it's Thursday, the 20th.
Yeah, the 20th.
Whenever the 20th,
the 20th
is.
You told me.
I'm going to put a video up on the day before on the 19th, kind of explaining it a little bit, but I'm just going to tell you who all's a part of the collaboration. We've got Dirt Patch Heaven, her daughter Paige and Kaya. Then we have Arms Family's daughter Emily. Road to the Farms, Ethan, Aiden, Owen, Elkin, and Annabelle. We have Delectable Mountains of Ivana. Fauchematic Off-Grid's Milo. Big Bear Homestead's Ladessa and Carol. Brianna B.E. from, she is the daughter of the Fundamental Home, Amanda. We have Off-Grid Kid, Ethan, and Empty Hammocks, 2 kids, Bruce and Carly. So if you guys would, I wanted to see what kids could do. I've always been a kid person. I love kids, and so I'm wanting to highlight, I guess, kids and give them a chance. So I'm going to explain a little bit about each one of the kids, if I can, in my video on the 19th. And then all of them on each channel, they're going to put on their channel. So you're going to have to go to their channel. And I'm going to list all of them in the descriptions and stuff on the 19th. So y'all can check them out on the 20th. And we're going to see what kids can do, because it's called Through a Kid's Eyes. And we want to see what they see on their homestead or in their life. It doesn't have to be homesteady. It could be just simply what the kids see, what they do every day, or
live
whatever.
through a kid's eyes and how they see life. Hey, Rich, glad to see you made it, man.
He's not working.
He doesn't have to work right now. Cool, that's pretty good. Now, we was asked, there was a question back here. Let's see, what type of fertilizer do you use on your blueberry bushes, if any? We use cottonseed meal if we use anything, and we haven't been able to find any that hasn't been chemically treated or anything like that. So we use cottonseed meal or we use chicken manure because if we don't have enough chicken manure, then we try to use a little bit of cottonseed meal, but predominantly chicken manure, just to be honest with you. And we try to keep enough mulch around them so that we don't use pine straw. A lot of people said to use pine straw because it is more acidic, but we would rather use chopped up oak leaves and chicken manure. And there was a question asked back there. I wanted to get to it, and I think I've let it get away from me.
Well, just tell him to ask again because you probably never find it.
Let's see. When you call those companies, did you call the wheat company as well? As a matter of fact, on Xena, I talked to a scientist at one of the wheat factories, and they told me that there's no wheat actually grown that should be consumed by humans. I'm just telling you what that company told me.
This was a scientist. It wasn't the.
This was a scientist at the place where they grew the wheat, and they processed it.
He explained the process. I think Danny explained that on one of our live shows before.
I did explain on one of our live shows how they spray a herbicide whenever they first put the plants out. Then they come back and they spray the wheat with estrogen to when the heads begin to grow on it. They spray estrogen on the crop to make it expand and grow a really big head. Then they spray Roundup on it to defoliate it and kill it all where it can be harvested at one time. And then when they harvest it, they spray another chemical on it to keep it from molding. And then they spray another chemical on it when they put it in the silos to keep the weevils and everything else from eating it. So he went through the process of telling me all these chemicals that they spray on wheat. He told me, he said, really, I'm just being honest with you, there's no wheat made for human consumption. I mean, that's coming from a scientist at a factory now.
Did you find your question?
Let's see. It was back here somewhere. It's going to be right here. A friend was saying, this is by Lady Hawthorne, says a friend was saying that even organic veggies are GMO if it doesn't say it's not. What do you think? That is probably accurate because the PLU code on it, if it does not begin with a 9, it is going to be it's not going to be organic. So you need to, if it doesn't say USDA certified organic, then it's probably it's possible it could have not have organic in it and have pesticides on it.
Donna said, "Where do they get the estrogen?" Just wondering. I'm not
I
sure
can't answer that one. I can't answer that one.
How much cane syrup did 2.67 Homestead get with his cane? He left here with 3.
He left here with 8 gallons of juice.
Was it 8? I thought it was more than that.
No, we left here with 8 because there was 2.5 in each one of his containers. So he left here with 8 gallons of juice.
The next day he messaged me and said he had been cooking all day, but I haven't seen a message from him how it tasted or anything like that. So I'm not really 100% sure. So if 2.67 is on here, if you'll tell him how yours turned out. I haven't seen if he's on here tonight or not.
Xena says, so we really don't have non-GMO flour. Well, it's not necessarily that it's non-GMO. All flour, wheat and rice has been hybridized.
And it has chemicals used on it unless they say it.
I haven't found any that hasn't been hybridized yet, other than there is some Ekron wheat out there that is still the old-timey wheat and some Emmer wheat if you can find the places to get it.
Yes, I saw Ray and Faith said they use Ekron.
Two large cane sugar places are closing down. Y'all, the comments are like Mach 7. It's hard for me to keep up. 2 large cane sugar farms in Maui are closing down. Well, I wouldn't doubt that. To bring the standards organic down to their profit they won. Yes, old as dirt. That is actually absolutely correct. Did I ask the scientist what he eats? No, I did not. I appreciated him being honest with me. He told me, he said, your animals can eat it, but you can't eat it. And I told him, I said, sir, my animals, if I can't eat it, my animals can't eat it.
Yes, I wouldn't be feeding my animals something I can't eat. Baker Creek has
Emmer wheat.
Yes.
Matter of fact, that's where we got our emmer wheat from.
We
Is
had
Baker
some.
Creek.
That's what we grew, right?
Yes.
We grew some emmer wheat, just enough to save seed from this year.
Ms. Zelda says, my family is a commercial estrogen producer. Just ask the men that. I like that one. That's pretty cool.
Can wheat be grown in Mississippi or Alabama?
Yes, if you have the right kind of wheat.
Yeah.
And you have to grow whether you got red wheat, white wheat, winter wheat, or spring wheat. You got to know which one goes where.
Because we kind of flubbed up.
We kind of flubbed up and planted spring wheat in the wintertime until we figured it out.
Yeah. So there's a lot of just things you got to pay attention to when doing wheat. It's
Tennessee Homestead says if you want organic, buy from your local farmers. That's probably as close as you're going to get to finding true organic.
And then,
but you still need to ask them even then. Have you seen any rain? They're about to use mandatory radian in Massachusetts.
Wow, what's radian?
I don't know. Woody, I don't understand what that question is, so you might have to rephrase it in a way that simple country folk like me can understand it.
Yeah. Most of our local farmers use chemicals on their crops as well. That's true because a lot of people, even like Danny years before, didn't think about what chemicals was doing.
Yeah, I never thought about it. I was a commercial farmer. I grew for factories, and it didn't bother me at all to spray something, but all of a sudden I come across and realize that, I was like, one day I was like, wow, this is actually killing people,
And it's because we were raised with our parents using Seven Dust and
arsenic and Seven Dust and all these things on. I mean, I grew up with family using arsenic on cucumbers and stuff like that, and we used a pre-emergent herbicide called Post. We sprayed it on the ground and didn't have no weeds. It took my wife having cancer to open up my eyes.
Yes.
What brands of fertilizer do I use? There is a fertilizer out there. My dad used to use it, and I think you can still get it. It's in Kentucky called Old Black Joe. I'm not sure exactly what's in it now. It used to be a real good fertilizer, and you can buy some chicken fertilizer, some cow fertilizer that's been heat treated. It's supposed to still be pretty good.
But I've been dumping my rabbit fertilizer all over everything. When I clean out my buildings, I go dump it everywhere, and we just keep spreading it and spreading it. And I make a tea with it and pour it on some things. And
Karina says you have to spray or lose crops. Well, that's why we overplant. We figure we plant some for the animals, some for the bugs, and some for us. Hopefully, out of all of it, we get a harvest because we do not spray anything here. We don't believe in it.
Yes, and we have chicken manure, and that goes in a compost thing. I don't put it directly on my plants, but if he's got the ground plowed up, ready for plants, I will put the chicken manure in there, and then he'll till it in before he puts his plants in.
Ginger mentioned something there about corn gluten is supposed to be a good pre-emergent herbicide. Yes, it is, and that brings up another thought that I was talking to a lady this past week, that people who are gluten sensitive have been eating a lot of corn, and actually most people don't understand that corn has gluten in it. So it has a small amount in it. So the YouTuber said, wasn't arsenic used to keep chickens healthy? That was way back in the day, yeah. But I would not advise it today.
Logan's Homestead says, how do y'all can peanuts? I saw them in the video with
the old Alabama gardener.
Yes, sometime tomorrow, I'm going to have a video up. It's not going to show you how I canned. I'm just going to tell you because we didn't can any this year. Those are last year's. And I will have a video up for that tomorrow.
Now, Rich has some good advice there. Visit the farm to get face-to-face with the farmer and find out how he's growing his food. Yes.
And Oldest Dirt says, Danny, have you ever used fish fertilizer?
Yes. It just stinks to high heaven. And the problem we had here when we used it, the possums and the coons would come out of the woodwork and dig up our gardens.
They did that last year. They dug up every plant that he used it around, and we were so aggravated.
What percentage do we use to calculate? Well, we usually do it in thirds. We figure a third for the animals, a third for the bugs, and a third for us.
And do we use DE? Yes, I have DE. Mainly I use DE for my chickens, and he uses it some for the goats and pigs. We sprinkle it on plants sometimes, but we've not found that the DE we're getting here is very beneficial toward any of the insects.
It ain't worked on any of our insects here.
And I'm used to a white DE. What we got is supposed to be food grade and it's supposed to be DE, but it's a gray color. It looks almost like concrete or something.
Yeah, Woody says they're about to force water cutbacks there and double the bill if they don't reduce their usage. Well, that's one reason we have our own wells. We don't have community water here. We wouldn't let them bring it in. Let's see.
I think somebody was saying something about dehydrating pumpkin for making pies. Yes, I don't see why you couldn't.
I don't see why you couldn't do that.
I dehydrated sweet potatoes the other day, and that's like the most awesome thing. So I'm going to do a video on that before long. But it was like eating sweet potato chips. I cut them really thin, and oh man, they were awesome.
Echoes from an Angel. Glad you was on tonight, as long as you can be. We love y'all too.
So yes, I don't see why you couldn't dehydrate most any vegetable like that and then rehydrate it to make your pies and things.
I don't see where it would be a problem at all.
Yeah. Have you ever canned pumpkin? We don't really grow.
We don't grow pumpkins here. It just
I grew my sweet potato, top ground sweet potatoes, but I didn't can them because we only had 3 or 4 of them. But yes, you could can that too. I just didn't because we didn't have enough of them. But pumpkin's something we just.
Doc D says I got notice from my drugstore today reminding me to get the flu shot. No.
We don't do
flu shots. We don't do any kind of shots.
No.
They're loaded with heavy metals, mercury and aluminums and stuff like that. We don't do it as an adjuvant to carry it throughout your bloodstream. And once it passes the blood barrier into the brain, there's no getting it out. So we don't do it.
Yes, and I was one of those weird ones back in the 70s. My daughter, my oldest, was born in 79, and my other 4 kids following that, I had 5 altogether. I did not get them shots because at the time when they were born, I had a friend that had a son that because he had a shot, the next day he had some issues. And so he's still alive today, but he is very handicapped child. And so I did not get my kids shots because of that. When they got older, yes, they got some shots and that stuff, but I did not give it to them as babies. I was really kind of freaked out over the issues with that. So, and I still am. Anytime somebody starts bringing a needle, I'm not a shot person. You can ask Danny. They go to give him a shot, and I go out the window or out the door.
Yeah, JM said he wants to see you doing a dehydrating sweet potato video.
I'm going to do that probably, maybe not this next week. We've got a lot coming up, but soon.
Let's see. Do you freeze or can your greens? Yes.
I can mine.
We can ours. We try. You can freeze them too, but we just don't want to waste the freezer space. Plus, it costs every time you put anything in a freezer, you just keep paying for it every month. So we try to can as much of it as we can. But now, if you're going to can greens, you better have a wheelbarrow load of them to do 6 or 7 jars because they won't go very far.
Yeah.
What's the easiest way to dehydrate without an electric dehydrator? A solar dehydrator works great. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be building one here in the near future.
Terry said, did I see how to fight off fruit flies listed earlier? No, these comments are going so fast. You'll have to message me. I'll see it because there's several people asked about that, and I need to know. We don't have fruit flies very often. We don't have fruit flies
very bad. I mean, if we do, they come in with bananas or something. We can get.
I don't buy bananas. Oh, y'all, let me tell y'all, bananas. Miss Tina, we met her a couple of weeks ago in Wiggins, and she gave me my moringa trees, which are doing great, by the way. And she gave me a big old thing of bananas. Y'all saw I put the picture up of the bananas. This week, one of them turned. These are bananas that were grown here outside Wiggins, Mississippi.
Yes.
Okay. That banana was twice as big around as a banana you get in the store. and more, it was firmer.
Yes.
And oh, it tasted delicious. And now I'm anxiously awaiting all the others to get ready because those bananas are good. I did not know bananas would grow in Mississippi, but they do.
They do, and they're good. Night Scratch, glad you and your wife could make it, man.
So
He says buffering too bad where he's at. He's not going to go.
he needs to buy him a new internet system.
Yeah, you need to upgrade internet
I
like
can't
us.
say anything.
We can't say nothing. We're in worse shape than he is, probably.
Yeah, ours is bad.
Let's see. Donna says she dehydrates organic spinach. A pound fits easily into a quart mason jar. That probably works. Our spinach didn't even come up. The heat here has been so bad. We planted a whole row of it. Didn't none of it come up. So we're going to have to redo ours. Oh man, we ain't even been paying any attention to our agenda here. Let's see.
No, we hadn't.
We
really.
got cane syrup cookies we made. Cane syrup cookies. She made cane syrup cookies, and y'all saw the old Alabama gardener and me be experimented with, and they were actually pretty good. A little bit dry, but they were pretty good.
Yeah, I'm going to have to up the butter. I cut back sometimes on butter because Danny doesn't want too much and stuff. But I'm either going to have to add more oil or more butter to the cookies. But they had a great taste.
Yeah.
And Danny ate them all week.
I ate them all week. I mean, I can't help it.
I'm trying to stay away from sugars. And by the way, I don't know if Jen's on tonight, but I ended up with 3 quart jars of candy corn. Y'all saw about a month or so ago that Danny had to vacuum seal. Well, one of them he didn't vacuum seal, and I've eaten about half of it in the past month. So I'm doing good with the sweets. I'm trying not to eat too many, and I didn't eat but maybe 2 cookies, and Danny ate most of the rest of them.
S.G. Wilbur is asking, do we have fire ants, and if so, how do you deal with them? We only have fire ants about every foot of our land.
And we don't deal with them.
And we don't deal with them because there is no way to deal with them, we found, other than pour gasoline on them. So it's one of those things that
they just live.
They live with us. They live amongst us. It's like we told y'all, we plant some for the animals and some for the insects and some for us, where the ants get some. Like my okra, for instance, we have a lot of our okra that when you leave it for seed, the ants just go up and they eat it off. And, luckily we leave enough of it that we get some seed out of some of it. So.
Yes, Jen is here. Jen, I do have 2 quarts of the candy corn left and half of the 3rd one. I'm doing good.
She's doing good. I vacuum sealed them so she can't open them.
Well, one of them's not vacuum sealed.
Okay, my porch time this past week was when things don't go the way you plan. We live in a situation in this world today, like I'm telling y'all, things are changing at a rapid pace right now. And we are experiencing this in our country today. If you don't believe me, just ask Rain out there and out where she's living out there in Washington, how that the storms are moving in and they're getting these torrential rainfalls with high winds. And if you talk to the people that's on into the mountainous areas in there, how much snow's falling. The whole East Coast this year was messed up with one storm right after another. We've had drought in this country this year. Nothing is really going how we planned anymore. So our health is breaking down, a lot of us is, and so we're seeing that, it's getting more difficult as time goes on, and we need to really start stocking up and trying to make better provisions for ourselves.
And YouTubers are saying, are fire ants really as vicious as people say they are? Come here to Mississippi and pick up some sugar cane like we did today.
Yes.
And try to move where 2.67 was here. We left the stalks on the ground and then we moved them to our raspberries. And ants were everywhere. I managed to pick them up without getting bit. I paid attention. Somebody didn't and he got bit.
Yeah,
a lot.
I probably got bit 25 or 30 times on my hands just trying to get this stuff out of the wagon and get it put out, for mulch. But they're just bad here. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. We've just learned to live with them. I mean, we've tried every way. We've tried the boiling water. We've tried cornmeal. We've tried gasoline. We've tried wheat, grits, whatever you want to call it. Nothing. I mean, they just move 2 feet over and come back up again,
And Southern Mom says she has scars on her feet from fire ants and she was in pain. I'm telling you, these things hurt so bad and itch when they first bite. It itches really bad and then they leave spots, and it will turn into scars. They're bad.
Yeah, Karina says they grow sugar beets. How do I make sugar? First off, with sugar beets, make sure they're non-GMO because 90% of the sugar beets now are GMO. And secondly, I'm not 100% sure because I have sugar beet seeds here that I found I found some organic ones, and I'll be planting them this coming spring. So we'll be learning. It'll be a learning process for us. Let me put it that way. We're going to be trying to make some sugar out of them.
Yeah,
Yes,
everybody's
fire
saying.
ants are the devil. They're Satan's dandruff. They're probably worse than that. I mean,
Well, imagine a little bitty ant that looks like a robot that
yeah,
you can stomp and he still gets up and goes again. You can mash him, he still keeps going. And they don't bite until there's like 50 of them on you.
yeah.
When you get bit one time and you look down, there's like 50 bites because they're all over you. It's like they all get on you and then one hollers and they all bite at one time.
Logan says, why don't y'all use a cast iron kettle instead of an evaporator pan? Well, I tried to buy 2 cast iron kettles here. I bid up to $500 on them at an auction, and one man stood up and said, I'll give you $1,000 for both of them, and that ended it. And I've never seen any more at an auction. And plus, an evaporator pan is so much easier to handle, and it's so much easier to cook in because one man can handle the fire he can do it all by himself if he pays attention to what he's doing.
Minuteman says, shut down the O2 access and they die. If we could figure out a way other than gasoline. Now, we know gasoline will kill them, but we can't use fire ants, gasoline on our plants.
Not on our plants, and we can't pour boiling water around our plants because we tried that around one of our strawberry plants that they built up on. It killed the strawberry plant. So,
we tried boiling water will work in the yard and things like that.
Yeah, you can pour it around your sidewalks and places like that if you don't mind the dead spots because wherever you pour it, everything's going to die.
Farmer Meemaw says her hubby was dancing and cussing. Those ants are bad.
Yeah.
Where were the blue and black tomatoes you had this year? They were on the backside of the house here by.
We actually had them in 5 different places because we planted 5 different varieties.
But the ones I took pictures of for the most part were right here. I took some all through, but most of them, the little small blueberry ones, were right here. And we have little plants back up again. So we're going to see if they make it and we get some for.
Actually, Logan's homestead is talking about he's planning on getting him a setup to cook his own syrup every year. That's what we've been doing this week. We've had track hoes and equipment in here this week digging out a hillside here on our farm next to our syrup mill because we're going to use gravity to feed everything. The syrup mill is actually going to be a good 5 foot lower than the cane mill is inside a hill. And that's going to be coming up on a video. Y'all are going to get to see here before long. It's going to be phase 1 of the syrup building.
And that's what he bartered for.
Yeah, that's what I bartered for this week for track hoe work and all that. Okay, we're close to Quake. Quake Lake? Oh, okay, it's somebody talking to Old Alabama Gardener.
Yeah,
okay.
That blueberry lemon cake sure sounded good. It is. It was very, very good. Danny and I ate all of it probably in a day.
Yeah, we ate all of it that day, just about.
It flopped. I did a video on it, but it hadn't come out because I did it in my cast iron pan, and it was perfect, y'all, up until dumping it out. I was in a hurry because I knew Mr. Charles and Miss Kiku were on the way, and I figured they would be here within an hour, hour and a half, and I still needed to go outside and do some things, and I showed Danny how perfect the cake looked. It was all brown and pretty, and I dumped it, and when he went out, I dumped it, and it was still hot, and it had blueberries in it, so the top half came out, the blueberries and the bottom half stayed in.
Yeah.
And then I just reached and dumped it, so it was all in parts, but it was still tasty.
It was still good, though. It looked like crap, but it was still good.
It tasted good. So next time I know to let it cool before I try dumping it out of the pan.
Yeah, I wish we had been able to make enough syrup this year that we'd have had it to put up on our Etsy store, in small containers, but we just didn't make any.
Is the galvanized pan?
Galvanized pans can be used to make cane syrup in, but you have to first treat them with vinegar. If you treat them with vinegar, the vinegar kills the galvanized. I mean, I've seen many old pans made out of galvanized and used, and they work fine. Mine, personally, is made out of stainless steel. It's got 3 10-foot sheets put together to make a 12-foot pan because of the baffles in it. But you know, but I have seen them made out of galvanized, and the old timers told me if you use vinegar on them, it would kill the galvanized, and make them safe to use.
Miss B lady wants to know, are your eyes any better since you're not wearing your glasses?
No.
He was asleep. I'm going to tell a little secret on him. He was in the recliner asleep 10 minutes before Big Bear's going, okay, we're going to stay on 30 minutes and Deep South's coming on 30 minutes early. So I had to get him up. And so he hadn't had time to think about glasses.
So if you see me lean forward like this looking, I'm trying to see the screen to see the comments.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
If my eyes look bloodshot, it's not because I'm drinking. It's just because I have my right eye burnt welding one time. I have a dry eye on my right side, so I kind of have problems.
Okay. Now the next video is how we plant sugar cane, and a lot of you, several people said something about they thought you planted it this way.
Vertical. No, you do not plant.
Lay it down.
As a matter of fact, you don't even plant the whole stalk. We put 4 eyes per thing, and then we cut it. We put it in the ground in short pieces because if you put the whole stalk in the ground, what will happen a lot of time is one end of it will root and the other end of it won't. And it'll actually use all the nourishment out of the whole stalk.
Welcome, Megan. She says she is doing her heart good to hear us say y'all. I'm used to y'all all the time. She says she's from Texas and lives in Nebraska. So welcome to Deep South.
Welcome to Deep South. We use the word y'all. Y'all's in the Bible. Even the Apostle Paul used y'all.
What did he say?
I mean, you can go back. I'll have to find the verse, but I was reading it in the Bible, and he says y'all. And I was like, I know the Apostle Paul was a Southerner because of that.
I'm sure it's not exactly that way. We'll take your word for it.
It's there, I promise you. There's a lot of things in the Bible people don't know is in there. Arkansas is in the Bible, all that stuff.
Y'all get him started.
You get me started on stuff like that because I know it's there because the Bible says Noah looked out of the Arkansas, so I know it's in there.
Y'all don't get him started.
Teresa said, praise God we don't have fire ants where you live. If you don't have fire ants, you better kiss the ground where you live.
Yes. Okay. Wow.
Oh, let's see. Where are we at here?
Why did that comment disappear? Was there one that did?
Well, I don't know. They're moving so fast, I can't see them.
I'm trusting my moderators. If it's somebody, they're
sugar cane grow in northwest Tennessee. Let's see, northwest. You probably want to have to plant sorghum, to be honest with you, because sugar cane is extremely sensitive to the cold weather. Can you tell which side is the root and which is the stalk? It actually has eyes on every other one is on each side. So the eyes alternate on the stalk going up it. So you just lay it down, plant it in the ground. It doesn't matter. Was Jesus a hillbilly? Was Jesus a hillbilly?
He was a carpenter.
He was a carpenter.
I don't know about him.
He worked with hand tools. He had a beard.
He could have known Duck Dynasty.
He could have known them. I mean, he followed the Torah completely, so we know he didn't cut his beard. So I mean, it depends on what you call a hillbilly, I reckon. Yeah, the Bible says that men make the coffee because he brewed. Yep, that's right.
Yep. Y'all and wonder are words of the Deep South. Can't imagine life without it.
We can't either. We wouldn't be able to speak without y'all and yonder and come on and fixing and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, so that's we're getting sidetracked.
Ladies, so we're getting sidetracked here now. Jesus was born in the north, they're saying now. Okay, I don't know about it. I think he was born in the Middle East, to be honest.
There's no telling, y'all. Which also means he did not have long hair.
Actually, I'm going to go into that on my channel. You have to look back at, I will mention this. The Apostle Paul, we have records to where his hair hung down to his shoulder blades. And 2 of Jesus' disciples never cut their hair. And you have to go back, because I got into a big discussion on this, and you have to go back to the actual time and period of time in which they lived. And ask yourself the question, what did they call long hair at that time? So I went back in Jewish history, and anything above the bottom of the shoulder blades was not classified as long hair. Anything below the bottom of the shoulder blades was called long hair. So it is possible that their hair hung down at least to their shoulder blades.
But no longer.
But no longer, yes.
All right, I was trying to read. Terry, you're just going to have to email me that. I was reading it, but I didn't get all of it because it passes too fast on the fruit flies. All right.
Cow ants are bad too. Oh yes, we have cow ants here too. Those things, you can stomp them, you can cut them in half, and they'll still crawl off.
Was that a religious thing about the hair? Yes.
Yeah.
They were asking about hair.
They were asking about it. I wasn't going to do it at first, but I said, well, I'll do it. But I'm going to talk more about it on my channel one day.
Yeah, he'll kind of leave that. Okay, so if y'all have any more questions about the cane and planting the cane, we're going to go into, we don't have but 15 minutes. So then the cane meal with 2.67.
Yes.
Y'all, they have a Louisiana accent. They are Cajun from the top to the bottom, and he's real tall.
He's real tall. I'm tall, but he's tall.
He's taller. And bless his heart, he got hit with the cane pole 2 or 3 times. His wife just died out laughing, and she'd say, duck, duck. Danny had to cut the words out, and I played music some because you would hear her hollering at him to duck.
Logan's Homestead said, do y'all hang the deer before freezing? It's not cold enough here to hang a deer, and I don't have a cooler. So what I'll do is I'll cut the deer in half, and I'll put him in the deep freeze, and I'll let him stay in the deep freeze overnight, and then I'll cut him the next day because he usually doesn't freeze overnight in a deep freeze.
Yeah, and so when we had 2.67 here, and their accent, she is actually, what did she say? Was it Boudreaux? No, I can't remember. I can't remember those Cajun names. But she has, before she married, she had a Cajun name. Her mother and her daddy. She never did tell
me what her Cajun name was.
She did, me. And her mother and her daddy both had Cajun names. So she grew up with all these Cajun, and she has these beautiful words for all this stuff that we call. And y'all, Cajun is just a beautiful language, I'm telling you.
Okay, Minuteman wants to know, he says, if I plant cane, how do I do so? It depends on what kind of cane you're going to plant. Now, if you plant sorghum, you plant seeds. If you're going to plant sugar cane, you plant the stalks. You cut them in, we cut ours in every 5th joint, we cut it. And then we plow a furrow in the ground, which I have a planting cane video, which will show you how we plow the furrow and lay them end to end in it. And cover the dirt, cover them up with dirt. This time of the year, it gives them all winter long to make roots on them so that next spring they pop up good and healthy. Okay. Hanging and aging the meat makes it more tender. Yes, it does. If you got a place to hang it in a cooler where it can stay about 35 degrees, it actually, the enzymes in it makes it a lot cooler, a lot tenderer when they break down.
Yeah. Okay. Y'all, we talked about the old Alabama gardener visiting.
Yeah.
And the okra frying. So if you have any more questions on either one of those, just let us know on those. Was there something else we need to talk about prayer requests?
Yeah, y'all need to go ahead and start throwing your prayer requests up.
Mark at Sunbird.
Yeah.
Sunbird
Farm.
I think it's Farms.
Or is it Sunbird Acres?
I don't know. I don't remember. Sunbird.
He's the one that sent us the 2 pins this year anyway.
I know it's Sunbird, but I don't know if it's Farm or Acres at the end. His dad, Alan, he asked us to, I've got it written, Sunbird Acres. Okay.
Yeah.
His dad, Alan, is having some issues. He asked us to remember him in prayer. And Heidi, Rain Country, I know she's on here, but remember her and all the people. Several of you may be in the line of this storm as it moves in. Let's pray it's not as bad as they are saying, and that each one of you will be safe during the night and tomorrow while this is moving across. And was the lady that you talked to this week, did she ask?
Teresa.
Is it Teresa?
Yeah.
Can't remember.
Yeah.
Okay, did she ask?
No, she just wanted to call and thank us for doing all that we've been doing.
Okay, I see there's several people.
Okay, y'all pay attention to the ones that are popping up there and add them to your prayer list so that when you pray, how to be a millionaire farmer. If you want to be a 1 millionaire farmer, start with 2 million. That is extremely accurate, Okie. I appreciate that. That's kind of fun.
lose it. Yeah.
Yes.
So.
And y'all, I'm gonna tell you, to be honest with you, I tried calling Rick from two country this past week. His phone has been disconnected. It's no longer in service, so I don't know if he's passed away or if
We haven't been able to get
if
in
he's
touch
just
with
in a
Mike.
home somewhere, a convalescent home or whatever. We have no way of knowing now because I have no way to get in contact with him anymore.
So, we just ask that you pray for him or his family,
His family, whichever. I mean, because we don't know anything
we have
now.
no clue now.
Yes, y'all continue to pray for Rain. Y'all continue to pray for Patera. Her husband's had some problems with some of the medication. Keep them in your prayers. Keep Starry in your prayers. She's having to go back. She's losing some use of one of her left arm, I believe it is. She's having problems with it. She's having to go back for some MRIs, she said. So y'all just kind of keep them in your prayers. And Brad and his family, Big Bear and his family, the people in our network here, we just need to make sure we keep them in our prayers. And there's a ton of people coming up here I'm looking at that. Y'all, I'm gonna talk about this on my All God's Children here very soon. It's about everybody says that they've something going on that they can't quite put their finger on. God showed me what that is. I'm gonna be talking about it here pretty soon. So if you watch All God's Children, you'll be able to see what God's laid on my heart as to what's going on in this country and what we're experiencing now that we can't quite put our finger on. It's really opened up my eyes, and it's really going to be a good message, I believe. I just got to get it put together and make it work in a way that would be pleasing and according to God and not be too controversial. So.
And Jason at Big Bear had a rough night a couple of nights ago.
Yeah, I mentioned them.
Did you mention Jason?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not paying any attention, but yeah.
She's reading the comments. She ain't listening to me, so. There's so much going on. Our country, y'all, is in bad shape. Continue to lift our country up because we're on a downhill, just on a downhill slope. There is something stirring in the spiritual realm. Beth, that's where I'm going. So you understand,
you nailed it.
You already know where I'm going to be going. So I think there's going to be those that have it. God's already showed it to me. And there's something been unleashed, and I'm going to talk about it on All God's Children. I'm not going to talk about it here. So if you want to know what it is, go to All God's Children, subscribe, and probably this coming week or maybe sometime in the near future, let me put it that way. When God gives me everything I need to have on it, we'll put it up.
Brad and Krista.
Yeah, yes. Brad and Krista with their daughter.
Wayne
their son that's gone off to the military.
Pray for us. Yes, Danny's health. Will you have a schedule for
the All God's Children?
He really doesn't have
have a schedule. Yet. I only do things when God gives it to me.
And we want to do a live stream, but right now, the past week or so has been so
We've only got 8 minutes, so I got to go.
Yeah, he's got to pray, but it's been full, but we are going to do a live stream.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and pray so we don't mess up with Zach and his time. Father, we want to thank you here tonight that you've been so good to us, Lord. You've given us a great evening. You've looked after us well. And Lord, we want to raise up some people here now. We've got some of our subs that are out on the West Coast. Rain, Heidi, Lord, they're having to endure this storm system that's moving in. And Lord, we just pray for them and their safety. And Father, we've got people like Dirt Patch and them that's on the road. We pray for their safety, Lord. And we got Starry out there in Idaho, Father. We pray for her and her healing. And Lord, we got Patera and her husband, James, as he's still having some heart issues. And Father, we just got so many. We got Brad and Krista, Big Bear. Jason's had a few bad days. Lord, I have bad days. We all have bad days. And Father, there's been so many people who's popped up here talking about the things that's going on in their life. And Lord, there's been something unleashed on us in this country that I'm going to talk about on my other channel. And Father, I pray for wisdom to be able to do that in a way that would be pleasing to you and educate our subs at the same time, Father. And Lord, I pray for those that have physical issues. I pray for those that have spiritual issues, emotional issues, Lord, and financial issues, Father. Marital issues, Father, all kinds of issues has been thrown up here tonight. And Lord, I want to lift all these up before you, and I want to ask that you answer them, Father, in a way that will best glorify you and your kingdom. and to show grace and mercy to all the people on this channel here tonight now. Thank you for our time tonight. Thank you for loving us, and thank you for being good to us and giving us your Son for our salvation now. We ask these things in thy name. Amen.
Yes, before we go, I want to mention a couple of things. Zach from An American Homestead is coming up next on the Homestead Network. And to find out who all is in the Homestead Network, go to thehomesteadnetwork.com. And y'all check out all my kids this week. It'll be on the 19th and the 20th. The 19th, I'll put up a video explaining it. And on the 20th, all of the kids will be putting up a video. And I will put up a video myself. And so we would love for you to just check out everybody on the 20th.
Yes, and y'all be sure as soon as we're finished up here, go over and check out Zach at An American Homestead. He's got a lot of good things going up. And, Zach also has a good teaching channel that's separate from his homesteading channel. Y'all can go watch it. He gives out a lot of good information also. He's a lot of messianic information, if that's what you're interested in. And he teaches the Torah. So, just enjoy him and what he does. And I'm sure he'd appreciate that. And y'all remember all the ones tonight that was mentioned in prayer, because people, I'm going to tell you, that's all we have left in this life anymore that we can really do for each other. We need more prayer. We need to uplift God. We need to put God back in everything in this country. If we can do that, then you know what? We're on our way to being healed again. But as it says, in the scriptures, the Bible plainly tells us that the only way we're going to be healed is if we put God back in everything. He says, if my people which are called by my name will humble themselves and seek my face, then will I hear from heaven and I will heal their land. And people, that's what we need. We need that kind of healing in our land here tonight. So I don't want to keep y'all too long. I want to give you enough time to get over and get to Zach's channel and watch him and just enjoy him, because he's usually got a lot of good information also. And I want to tell y'all how much we appreciate y'all and how much we love you. And we look forward to seeing y'all in our next videos. Thank y'all from Deep South Homestead.